Good afternoon to all. In last class, I have discussed about adrenergic neurotransmission. So in today's class, I'm going to explain about adrenergic receptors. Okay. So here, adrenergic receptors are divided to here two types, that is alpha 1 and alpha 2. So firstly, it is divided to alpha and beta. Okay. And alpha again divided to alpha 1 and beta alpha 2. Okay, and beta receptors are divided to three types, that is beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. Okay, so here the catecholamines is nothing but in an adrenergic neurotransmission, there is a transmission of nerve impulses from one neuron to another neuron with the help of catecholamines. Okay, so that catecholamines includes what? Adrenaline, noradrenaline, and what dopamine is also neurotransmitter here. Here dopamine is also act as a neurotransmitter. So here dopamine, it is binds with the dopamine receptors, that is D1 and D2. Okay, and adrenaline and noradrenaline, it is binds with alpha 1 and beta, alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3 receptors. Okay, here the alpha 1 receptor, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha and beta and dopamine. Okay, that all receptors are what? G protein coupled receptors. Okay, so why it is called as G protein coupled receptors? Because of the G protein. Okay, the guanine protein, it is associated with that receptors. Okay, and they consist of four subunits, that is GQ protein, GI protein, GS protein and GO protein. Okay, so here the alpha 1 receptor, it is a the alpha 1 receptor is associated with GQ protein. Okay, and this alpha 1 receptor is mainly located at the vascular smooth muscle, eye and prostate and heart region. Okay, and alpha 2 receptor is associated with the GI protein. Okay, inhibitory G protein, and it is mainly located at the postsynaptic CNS region and adrenergic and cholinergic nerve terminals. Okay, so and beta receptors are associated with GS protein, stimulatory G protein. Here the beta 1 receptors are mainly located in heart and kidney region. Okay, and beta 2 receptors are mainly present in respiratory system and uterine and vascular smooth muscles and liver. Okay, and beta 3 receptors are only present in fat cells. Okay, adipose tissue. Okay, and the D1 receptors are mainly located in the smooth muscles of kidney. Okay, and D2 receptors are mainly present. D2 receptors are associated with what? GI protein, and they are mainly located at the nerve endings, and they are modulate the release of neurotransmitter. Okay, so here upon the activation of GQ protein, there is a stimulation of phospholipase enzyme. Okay, and there is a production of the secondary messengers like IP3 and DAG, diacylglycerol and inositol triphosphate. Okay, upon the activation of GI protein, there is an inhibition of adenyl cyclase enzyme. Okay, then by the inhibition of this enzyme, there is no formation of cyclic AMP, means there is no conversion of ATP to cyclic AMP. And upon the activation of GS protein, then what will happen? There is a stimulation of adenyl cyclase enzyme, there is an activation of cyclic AMP. Okay, upon the activation of GI protein, there is an inhibition of adenyl cyclase enzyme and there is a decrease in the cyclic AMP. So these are the second messenger. Cyclic AMP is nothing but this is a secondary messenger. Okay, and this secondary messenger is modulate the effect of what modulate the effect on target tissue. Okay, and these are the receptors. Okay, so mainly these adrenergic receptors are divided to alpha and beta receptors, and dopamine, it is binds with dopamine receptors. Okay, adrenaline, noradrenaline and isoprenaline, it is binds with alpha and beta receptors. Okay, so mainly, so these alpha receptors are divided to alpha 1 and alpha 2. Okay, they are mainly alpha 1, it is mainly present at postsynaptic region. Okay, alpha 1, it is mainly present at the postsynaptic region, but alpha 2, it is present in both presynaptic region and postsynaptic region. Okay, it is present in two regions, presynaptic region and postsynaptic region. So if it is present in presynaptic region means what? It is modulate the release of neurotransmitter from the presynaptic nerve terminals. Okay, so what is the action of alpha 2 receptors on presynaptic nerve terminal is? It is modulate the release of neurotransmitter from the presynaptic nerve terminals. Okay, and alpha 1 receptors are again divided to three types, that is alpha 1, alpha 1A and alpha 1B and alpha 1D. Okay, and what is the mechanism of action of alpha receptors? Okay, so here, so the alpha 1 receptors are associated with what protein? GQ protein. Okay, and alpha 2 receptors are associated with what? GI protein, that is inhibitory G protein. Okay, so here this one is sympathetic nerve terminal. So in the response to nerve impulse, what? In the response to nerve impulses, then what will happen? The presynaptic nerve terminals is stimulate the release of what? Neurotransmitter. So the name of that neurotransmitter is here noradrenaline. Okay, so in case if the noradrenaline, it is binds with alpha receptors means alpha 1 receptors means, so this alpha 1 receptor is associated with what protein? GQ protein. Okay, so upon the activation of this GQ protein, then what will happen? There is an activation of one enzyme. Okay, note down the name of that enzyme is what? Phospholipase C. Okay, so upon the activation of phospholipase C, then what will happen? There is a production of IP3. That is what? Inositol triphosphate. Because of that phospholipase C enzyme, it is required for the conversion of PIP2 to IP3. What is PIP2? That is phosphatidyl inositol bisphosphate. Okay, phosphatidyl inositol bisphosphate, that is called as PIP2. So here upon the activation of GQ protein, there is an activation of phospholipase C. Okay, that enzyme is required for the conversion of PIP2 to IP3. Okay, so IP3 and what? IP3 means what? Inositol triphosphate, and there is a production of one more messenger that is called as what? Diacylglycerol. Okay, so this IP3 and DAG, okay, both are stimulate the release of calcium from the sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, the storage site of calcium is what? Sacroplasmic reticulum. So this IP3 and DAG both are stimulate the release of what? Calcium from what? Sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, so then what will happen? There is the intracellular levels of calcium, it will be increases. Okay, so then that calcium, it is binds with calcium binding protein. Okay, so the calcium binding protein is called as what? Calmodulin. Okay, note down the calcium binding protein, it is calmodulin. Okay, so the calcium after binding with the calmodulin, then this complex, it is stimulate the activity of what? MLCK. So what is MLCK? MLCK means what? Myosin light chain kinase. MLCK means myosin light chain kinase. Okay, so this enzyme is required for the phosphorylation of muscle protein. Okay, that is called as myosin. Okay, so upon the phosphorylation of myosin protein, there is a contraction effect, it will be produced. Okay, so noradrenaline after binding with alpha 1 receptors, it is activate the what? GQ protein. Upon the activation of GQ protein, there is activation of phospholipase enzyme C. Then upon the activation of phospholipase enzyme C, there is a production of IP3 and DAG. So that secondary messenger is activate the sacroplasmic reticulum to release the more calcium. That calcium, it binds with what? Calmodulin. Okay, so after binding with that calmodulin calcium and calmodulin complex is activate the MLCK, that is called as myosin light chain kinase. So that MLCK is phosphorylate the muscle protein, that is called as myosin. Okay, so upon the phosphorylation of this myosin protein, then what will happen? The contraction effect, it will be produced in smooth muscles. Okay, so the contraction effect, it will be produced in smooth muscles. Okay, so the noradrenaline, it is binds with alpha 1 receptors and shows the effect is what? Contraction effect on what? Smooth muscles. Okay, and next, alpha 2 receptor mechanism of action. Okay, so alpha 2 receptors, if noradrenaline, it is binds with alpha 2 receptors, means what will happen? So this alpha 2 receptors are GI coupled receptors. Okay, GI protein coupled receptors. Because of this, alpha 2 receptors are associated with what? GI protein. Okay, so then what will happen? There is an inhibition of what? Adenyl cyclase enzyme. Okay, so when noradrenaline, it is binds with alpha 2 receptors, there is a inhibition of one enzyme that is known as adenyl cyclase. Okay, so upon the inhibition of this adenyl cyclase enzyme, there is a decrease in the formation of cyclic AMP, because that adenyl cyclase enzyme, it is required for the formation of cyclic AMP. Because of that adenyl cyclase enzyme, it is used to convert the ATP to cyclic AMP. Okay, by the inhibition of this enzyme, adenyl cyclase enzyme, there is a decrease in the formation of what? Cyclic AMP. Okay, so the cyclic AMP formation is decreases due to inhibition of what? Adenyl cyclase enzyme. Okay, then the cyclic AMP is but it's a secondary messenger. So the cyclic AMP production is decreases in smooth muscles, means there is a contraction effect, it will be produced. Why? Okay, if the cyclic AMP production, if the cyclic AMP levels is very high in cardiac muscles, means, okay, here the note down one statement. Okay, listen carefully. If the cyclic AMP levels, it will increases in cardiac muscles, means it produces the contraction effect. Okay, but if the cyclic AMP levels is very high in smooth muscles, means it can shows the relaxant effect. Why? Because, okay, what is the reason? The cyclic AMP levels is very high in cardiac muscles, means it can show the excitatory effect, contraction effect, it will be produced. If this cyclic AMP levels is very high in smooth muscles, means the relaxant effect, it will be produced. So what is the reason behind this? That is, if the cyclic AMP levels is very high in smooth muscles, means the cyclic AMP, the high levels of the cyclic AMP, it is inhibit the MLCK enzyme. Okay, that is called as myosin light chain kinase. Okay, so that's in the response to high levels of cyclic AMP, the MLCK levels, it will be decreases. Then what will happen? The MLCK levels is decreases, means what will happen? The phosphorylation of myosin protein, it will be decreases. Okay, so the phosphorylation of myosin protein is decreases, means what will happen? There's a contraction effect, it will be reduced. Okay, there is a decrease in the response of contraction. Why? Because why contraction effect, it will be decreases? Because of inhibition of MLCK enzyme. Okay, so there is an inhibition of MLCK enzyme, means there is no phosphorylation of myosin protein. So that's why the contraction effect, it will be reduced in smooth muscles. Okay, in case the cyclic AMP levels is very high in smooth muscles, means then the relaxant effect, it will be produced on smooth muscle. Okay, so here the alpha 2 receptors are GI associated protein. The alpha 2 receptors are GI associated protein, and these are inhibit the production of secondary messengers, that is known as cyclic AMP. So the cyclic AMP levels is decreases, means what will happen here? Okay, the contraction effect, it will be not reduced. The contraction effect not reduced. Why contraction effect it not reduced? Okay, because of if the cyclic AMP levels is very high in the smooth muscles, means it inhibit the MLCK enzyme. But here the cyclic AMP levels in smooth muscles is very less. Okay, so that's why there is no effect on contraction. Okay, there is no inhibition of contraction effect. Okay, there is no inhibition of contraction effect means what? It stimulates the contraction effect. Okay, so noradrenaline, it binds with alpha 1 receptors means it shows a contraction effect on smooth muscles. Okay, and alpha 2 receptors are GA coupled receptors, and in this there is a production of secondary messengers, it will be decreases, and the effect is contraction effect on smooth muscles. Okay, if the cyclic AMP levels is very high in cardiac muscles means what? It shows the excitatory effect. Okay, if the cyclic AMP levels is decreases in smooth muscles means what? There is a contraction effect in smooth muscles. Okay, if the levels is very high in cardiac muscles means contraction effect. If the levels of cyclic AMP is less in smooth muscles means it shows a contraction effect. Okay, and next one is mechanism of action of beta adrenergic receptors. Okay, so here predominantly the beta 1 receptors are present in heart region. Okay, predominantly what means the more number of beta 1 receptors is present in heart. The heart consists of B1 and B2, but predominantly B1 receptors is present in heart. Okay, so here uh, what B1 receptors, B1 and B2 receptors are both are associated with what protein? GS protein. Okay, here alpha 1 is associated with which protein? GQ protein. Alpha 2 receptor is associated with GI protein. Okay, but here beta 1 and beta 2 receptors both are associated with GS protein. Okay, that is stimulatory G protein. Okay, so when sympathetic in the response to nerve impulses, the sympathetic nerve terminus is releases the noradrenaline. Okay, and here, this alpha 2 receptors is also present in presynaptic nerve terminals. Okay, so what is the action of alpha 2 receptors on presynaptic nerve terminals? That is modulate the release of, means inhibit the release of noradrenaline from the sympathetic nerve terminal. Okay, what is the function of alpha 2 receptors on presynaptic nerve terminal is inhibit the release of neurotransmitter from the sympathetic presynaptic nerve terminals. Okay, so in the response to what nerve terminus, the presynaptic nerve terminus is releases the noradrenaline, and noradrenaline or norepinephrine, it is binds with both beta 1 or beta 2 receptors. If it is binds with the beta 1 receptors, then what will happen? Heart consists of mainly B1 receptors. Okay, here noradrenaline, after binding with the B1 receptors, there is an activation of GS protein. Then what will happen? There is an activation of adenyl cyclase enzyme. So upon the activation of adenyl cyclase enzyme, there is a conversion of ATP to cyclic AMP. Okay, so upon the formation of this cyclic AMP, there is an activation of protein kinase A. Okay, so the protein kinase A, it will be activated. Okay, so then what will happen? This protein kinase A, it is phosphorylate the L-type calcium channel. See this one is calcium channel. So this protein kinase A, it is stimulate the release of calcium from the what calcium through the what L-type calcium channels. Okay, so protein kinase A is stimulate the calcium channel to release the more calcium ions into the intracellular region. Okay, so the within the intracellular region, the calcium levels, it will be increases. Okay, so what is the name of this cell? That is cardiac myocyte, not smooth muscle. This is a cardiac muscle. Okay, so the levels of calcium in the cardiac myocyte, it is increases. Then what will happen? This calcium is stimulate the release of calcium from the what? Sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, so then what will happen? The calcium levels within the cardiac cells is increases. Then it can shows a contraction effect, that is increases the inotropic effect. Nothing but the force of contraction, heart contraction, it will be increases. Okay, so beta adrenergic receptors mechanism of action on heart. Okay, so heart consists of mainly which receptors? Beta 1 receptors. Okay, so upon the activation of beta 1 receptors, AC enzyme activity is increases, cyclic AMP production is increases, activation of protein kinase and activation of L-type calcium channels. So there is a more entry of calcium into the cell, then more release of calcium from the sacroplasmic reticulum. Then the calcium levels within the intracellular region is also increases. Then it can produce us the what kind of effect? Contraction effect it will be produced. Okay, so beta adrenergic receptor, beta 1 adrenergic receptor mechanism of action on heart is what? Contraction effect. The effect is contraction effect. What is the mechanism? It is act through what? GS protein. So it produces a more cyclic AMP and it causes a more protein kinase A. Okay, and upon the activation of this GS protein, there is increases heart rate, not only force of contraction, the heart rate is also increases. Okay, why heart rate is increases? Because of opening of ion channels. Okay, upon the activation of this GS protein, there is an opening of what ion channel? There is an opening of ion channels. Okay, so that ion channels is responsible for the pacemaker activity. Okay, that ion channels are responsible for the pacemaker activity, especially at the sinoatrial node. Okay, so upon the activation of this what sinoatrial node, the sinoatrial node activities increases. Okay, due to opening of the ion channels. Okay, then what will happen? The heart rate it will be increases. And one thing is that protein kinase A, it is phosphorylate the sites on the sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, so this protein kinase A, it is phosphorylate the some sites which are present in sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, and which stimulate the release of calcium from the sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, and this sacroplasmic reticulum consists of one receptor is there. The name of this receptor is rhine anodine. Okay, rhine anodine. Okay, rhine anodine, it is a receptor. This receptor is associated with the sacroplasmic reticulum. Okay, so upon the activation of pKa, it is phosphorylate the sites in sacroplasmic reticulum and it is activates the rhi-anodine receptors. Rhi-anodine receptor activation it will be happens. So there is a release of calcium from the sacroplasmic reticulum through which receptors? Rhino-anodine receptors. Okay, so then what will happen? The excess calcium is available in the cardiac myocyte. Okay, so that calcium it is binds with what? Troponin C. Okay, it is also muscle protein. Okay, it is binds with the troponin C. So then what will happen? Which increases the inotropic effect. Means what? The force of contraction it will be increases. So finally, beta adrenergic receptor action on heart is the force of contraction is increases and the heart rate is also increases because of the heart consists of mainly beta 1 receptors. Okay, and beta adrenergic receptors mechanism of action on blood vessels. Okay, so blood vessels consist of what kind of muscles is there? Vascular smooth muscles are present in blood vessels. Blood vessels consist of vascular smooth muscles. And here, what kind of adrenergic receptors is present in vascular smooth muscles? That is beta 2 adrenergic receptors. Note down. Beta 2 adrenergic receptors are mainly present in vascular smooth muscles. Okay, and visceral smooth muscles also. Okay, visceral organs smooth muscles and vascular smooth muscles. Okay, but beta 1 it is mainly located at the heart region. Okay, so here what is the mechanism of action on blood vessels? Here beta 2 receptors. Okay, so when noradrenaline it is binds with the beta 2 receptors. When adrenaline, okay, when adrenaline is binds with the beta 2 receptors, there is an activation of GS protein. Then there is a formation of there is an activation of adenyl cyclase enzyme. So there is a conversion of ATP to cyclic AMP. Okay, then this cyclic AMP, it is activates the it is inactivates the, okay, it is inactivates the what, MLCK enzyme, that is myosin light chain kinase. Okay, so note down, the cyclic AMP levels is very high in smooth muscles, means what will happen, the increased level of cyclic AMP in smooth muscles, it is inhibit the MLCK enzyme, that is myosin light chain kinase. Okay, then what will happen, the MLCK enzyme, it will be decreases, means there is a inhibit the phosphorylation of myosin protein. Okay, as a result of inhibition of phosphorylation of myosin protein, the contraction effect, it will be reduced. Okay, there is a inhibit the contraction effect. Okay, so nothing but what effect it will be produced, that is relaxant effect it will be produced. Okay, because of that excess cyclic AMPs inhibit the myosin light chain kinase, so there is no phosphorylation of muscle protein, that is known as myosin. Then that increase in the cyclic AMP levels is caused by what, beta 2 agonist. Okay, so that's why it promote the what, relaxation effect. Okay, and there is a decrease in the contraceptive effect and increases the relaxant effect. Okay, so what is the action of adrenaline on blood vessels is what, vasodilation. Why vasodilation is occurs, due to increases the formation of cyclic AMP. So that cyclic AMP is inactivate the MLCK. So there is no phosphorylation of myosin protein. Okay, there is no contraction effect. Okay, and mechanism of action on other tissues. Okay, beta adrenergic receptors, mechanism of action on other tissues. In lungs consist of, it is a visceral smooth muscles. Okay, beta 2 receptors is also present in visceral smooth muscles. So in smooth muscles, beta 2 receptor is active through GS protein, no? Then cyclic AMP levels is increases. So in smooth muscles, the cyclic AMP levels is increases, means what will happen, the MLCK levels, it will be decreases. Then the decrease in the phosphorylation of myosin protein. Okay, there is no contraction effect. So there is no contraction effect means it can causes the dilation effect. Okay, it causes the what, bronchodilation. Upon the activation of beta adrenergic receptors, there is a bronchodilation effect, it will be produced. Okay, then upon the activation of beta adrenergic receptors, then it may lead to increases the plasma glucose concentration. The plasma glucose concentration, it will be increases due to activation of beta adrenergic receptors. Why? Because of upon the activation of beta adrenergic receptors, there is a glycosenolysis is occurs at the liver region. What is glycosenolysis? Means the breakdown of glycogen molecules into glucose. Then the levels of glucose in the blood region, it will be increases. That is called as hyperglycemia. And it stimulates the release of glucagon also. Okay, the pancreas releases the glucagon. What is the purpose of glucagon? Glucagon is triggers the release of stored calcium from the liver. Okay, it triggers the release of stored calcium from the liver. So finally, the plasma glucose concentration, it will be increases. That condition is called as hyperglycemia. Okay, so beta 2 agonist action on liver is what, glycosenolysis. Okay, or stimulate the release of glucagon. Okay, and nothing but inhibit the release of insulin also. Okay, so that's why in response to these actions, the plasma glucose concentration is increases. Okay, upon the hepatic glycosenolysis, by the release of glucagon, by the inhibition of insulin hormone, there is a increase in the what, plasma glucose concentration. Okay, and next one is beta 1 adrenergic receptors. It can show the stimulatory effect in kidney region. Okay, then what will happen, it produces the more release of renin. Okay, Okay, so the kidney releases the renin. Okay, it stimulates the release of renin. Okay, mainly kidney consists of beta 1 receptors. So then what will happen upon the activation of beta 1 receptors? There is a release of renin. Okay, so that renin is required for the conversion of angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Okay, then that angiotensin 1, it is converted to what? Angiotensin 2 in the presence of which enzyme? That is angiotensin converting enzyme, that is called as ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme. That enzyme is required for the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Okay, so if that angiotensin 2 levels is increases, means that angiotensin 2, it is stimulate the release of aldosterone. So stimulate the release of aldosterone from the which gland? That is adrenal cortex. Okay, so the aldosterone levels is increases, means what will happen? What is the effect it will be produced? It stimulate the reabsorption of more water and sodium ions. Then what will happen? The blood volume it is increases, the blood pressure is also increases. Okay, so upon the activation of beta 1 receptors, okay, there is a activation of RAS system. What is RAS system? That is renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. It will be activated because of upon the activation of beta 1 receptor, there is a release of renin from the kidney. Okay, so because of that beta 1 receptors is present in kidney region. Okay, so what is a beta 1 receptor on kidney is stimulate the release of renin. Okay, what is a beta 1 receptor and on BP is the BP it will be increases because it stimulates the release of more aldosterone. It activates the RAS system. In RAS system, the final outcome is what? Stimulate the release of more aldosterone. Okay, the aldosterone levels it will be increases. Means aldosterone levels is increases means the blood volume is increases due to more reabsorption of water and sodium ions. So that's why the blood volume it will be increases. Means the blood pressure is also increases. Okay, and this one is mechanism of action of what? Beta adrenergic receptor, mechanism of action on heart, on blood vessels, on lungs, and on liver, on kidney. Okay, and next one is alpha 1 receptors in this epinephrine. Okay, so this epinephrine, it is very sensitive to alpha 1 and alpha 2 both. Okay, epinephrine is highly sensitive to alpha 1 receptors and alpha 2 receptors. Okay, and noradrenaline or norepinephrine, it is medium sensitive to alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptors. See this. Okay, norepinephrine, it is medium sensitive to alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptors. Next, isoprenaline, it is low sensitivity to alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptors. Okay, the potent alpha 1 agonist is what? Epinephrine. Okay, and the medium potency is noradrenaline and low potency is what? Isoprenaline. Okay, and what is the effect it will be produced? What is the physiological effects it will be produced upon the activation of alpha 1 receptors? That is smooth muscle contraction, gluconeogenesis, and vasoconstriction. Okay, and what is the alpha 1 agonist? That is norepinephrine, phenylephrine, and methoxamine. Okay, and alpha 1 antagonistic is prazosin. Okay, and next one is what is the physiological effect of alpha 2 receptors is it is inhibit the release of neurotransmitter from the presynaptic nerve terminals. Because of this alpha 2 receptors are both it is present in both regions, that is presynaptic region and prosynaptic region. So alpha 2 receptors, if it is present in presynaptic region, means it is inhibit the release of neurotransmitter from the presynaptic nerve terminals. Okay, and what alpha 2 agonist is what? Clonidine and monoxidine. Okay, and alpha 2 antagonist example is what? Yohimbine and edoxoxin and tolazolin. Okay, and beta 1 Okay, so here beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 receptors is there. So here the isoprenaline, okay, note down here that isoprenaline, it is more sensitive to beta 1 receptors, beta 2 receptors and beta 3 receptors. Okay, and epinephrine, it is medium sensitive to beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3 receptors. See this, sorry, isoprenaline is more sensitive to beta 1 and beta 2. Okay, and epinephrine, it is medium sensitive to beta 1 and beta 2, and norepinephrine, it is low sensitivity to beta 1 and beta 2. And what is the physiological effects it will be produced? So mainly beta 1 receptors is present in heart region. So that's why here the heart rate is increases and it stimulates the renin secretion. Okay, agonist is isoproterenol, norepinephrine and dobutamine. And beta 2 antagonists example propranolol, metoprolol and atenolol. Okay, and beta 2 effects, beta 2 physiological effects is vasodilation, okay, and bronchodilation, and it inhibits the insulin secretion also. And agonist is isoproterenol, salbutamol, salmeterol, albuterol, and formoterol, and terbutaline, and levobuterol. Okay, and beta 2 antagonistics examples is propranolol and nandrolol. Okay, and beta 3, beta 3, so isoprenaline and norepinephrine, these two neurotransmitters are equally sensitive to beta 3 receptors. Okay, but epinephrine, it is medium sensitivity to beta 3 receptors. Okay, so in beta 3 receptors consist of what tissue? It is located at adipose tissue, and physiological effect is it increases the lipolysis. Okay, and agonist example is isoproterenol and solabergon. Okay, and antagonist is a new drug. Okay, and what is the classification? Next thing is classification of adrenergic drugs. So according to the mode of action, they're divided to three types: direct acting drugs, indirectly acting drugs by both mechanisms. So directly acting drugs, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and dopamine and isoprenaline. Indirectly acting drugs, amphetamine, methamphetamine, and by both mechanism, ephedrine and metaraminol. Okay, according to the receptor sensitivity. Okay, according to the receptor sensitivity. So these are the selective alpha 1 agonist. Selective alpha 1 agonist example methoxamine and phenylephrine. And selective alpha 2 agonist example clonidine and alpha methyl noradrenaline. Okay, and both alpha 1 and alpha 2 agonist examples is adrenaline and noradrenaline. So nothing but adrenaline and noradrenaline, it is a selective alpha agonist, also called as non-selective alpha agonist. Okay, because of this adrenaline and noradrenaline, it is binds with both receptors, alpha receptors and alpha 2, alpha 1 and alpha 2 receptors. Okay. Next, beta 1 selective agonist, that is prenorterol and dobutamine, and selective beta 2 agonist salbutamol and terbutaline. Okay, and non-selective beta agonist example is adrenaline and isoproterenol. Okay, and both alpha and beta, okay, both selective alpha beta non-selective alpha beta agonist is adrenaline nor adrenaline and epinephrine. Why it is called as non-selective? Because of that adrenaline, it is binds with two receptors, that is alpha receptors and beta receptors. That's why it is called as non-selective. Okay, and according to the chemical nature, it is a catecholamines. Catecholamines is a adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, and isoprenaline. So because of these four kinds of drugs consist of same chemical group, that is catechol. Okay, so catechol nothing but what? One benzene ring. That benzene ring is associated with two hydroxyl groups. Okay, that is called as catechol. Okay. According to the therapeutic effect, okay, according to the therapeutic effect, vasoconstrictors, vasodilators. Vasoconstrictors examples adrenaline, noradrenaline, ephedrine, and metaraminol. propranolol. Okay. And vasodilator example, dopamine, isoprenaline. Bronchodilators example, salbutamol and terbutaline. And CNS stimulants examples, amphetamine, methamphetamine. Cardiac stimulants example, adrenaline, isoprenaline and prenaltirol. And nasal decongestants example, ephedrine and oxymetazoline. And uterine relaxants example, niloradine and salbutamol. Okay, so these are the classification of adrenergic drugs. So in next class, we will discuss about pharmacological actions of adrenergic drugs. Okay, adrenergic drugs act on heart, bronchial muscles, blood vessels, liver, kidney, okay, and on uterus, and metabolic effects of all adrenergic drugs. We will discuss in next class. Okay, thank you.